This is the Chapter 2 test review. Remember, the best way to review is to write down the problem, pause, solve the problem, and then hit play and make sure that your work is full credit work. All right, the first question that we're going to be doing is a solve and check question. So the first thing we're going to do is ask, when do we subtract in algebra? Never. We keep, change, change. So remember here that when we do that, we're going to make this an addition sign, but we're going to make this a -1 so that we can distribute. And this will be keep, change, and then change. All right, and we're going to distribute and continue to solve. So we're going to have 8k plus -6k plus +4 is equal to 10. We need to combine like terms. Notice that the like terms are on the same side of the equal sign, which means we do not need to zero pair. We just simply need to collect them and see how many we have. So we're going to have 2k plus 4 is equal to 10. Now we ask, is the variable on the left? Yes, it is. Is it first? Yes, it is. Is it alone? No, and we're looking at the +4, so we're going to zero pair. So now we have 2k is equal to 6. Divide by 2, divide by 2, k is equal to 3. That's our solve. So now we're going to do our check. For our check, we go back to our original equation. 8k minus 6k minus 4 is equal to 10. We're going to go ahead and put in our 3. So we're going to have 8 times 3 minus 6 times 3 minus 4 is equal to 10. So 24, we have to do PEMDAS, which means we're going to solve what's inside the parentheses first. So 8 times 3 minus 18 minus 4. 8 times 3 minus 14. And then we're going to have 24 minus 14 is 10 is equal to 10. So we know our check is correct and k is equal to 3. All right, so let's look at the next one. Same thing, we have to make sure that we do our keep, change, change because we see our subtractions. So keep, change, change, and then keep, change, change. And we're going to go ahead and solve. So we have 6x plus distributive -2x plus distributive +10 is equal to 22. Again, we have combined like terms. So we're going to have 4x plus 10 is equal to 22. Zero pair out the 10 because the 4x is first and on the left, but it is not alone. So we have 4x is equal to 12. Divide by 4, divide by 4, x is equal to 3. So now we're going to go ahead and do our check. 6x minus 2 times x minus 5 is equal to 22. We're going to substitute in our 3 for our x's, and then we're going to do PEMDAS. So we have 2 times -2. We have 6 times 3 is 18. This is where we can now do keep, change, change. So plus 4 is going to equal 22, which is the same thing that we had on our right side. So we know that x is 3. All right, now we have absolute value. So the first thing that we have to do is make sure that our absolute value is by itself on the left. So right now it's not by itself. So the first thing that we have to do is zero pair. So we're going to go ahead and zero pair the 1. And we're going to have 3 times the absolute value of x minus 4 is equal to 18. Now 3 is multiplying, so the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So we're going to divide this whole side by 3. And we're going to have x minus 4, absolute value, is equal to 6. Now, this is where we have to take and break this apart. So we're going to have x minus 4 is equal to 6, and x minus 4 is equal to negative 6. Remember that the part that is inside the absolute value signs is written the same on both sides, but we have to find the positive value and the negative value. So we're going to go ahead and zero pair the 4's. And we're going to get x is equal to 10 and x is equal to negative 2. So our solution set would be negative 2, 10. And we need to come back up here and we're going to check it. So we're going to check 3 times the absolute value of negative 2 minus 4, absolute value plus 1, and we're going to see if that equals 19. So 3 times the absolute value of negative 6 plus 1 is equal to 19. Absolute value of negative 6 is positive 6, so 3 times 6 plus 1 equals 19. 18 plus 1 equals 19. 19 equals 19. So we know that negative 2 works. Now we need to see if 10 works. So we're going to do 3 times x minus 4 plus 1 is equal to 19. 3 times 10 minus 4 plus 1 is equal to 19. Continuing to do PEMDAS. 3 times the absolute value of positive 6 plus 1 is equal to 19. Absolute value of positive 6 is 6, so 3 times 6 plus 1 is equal to 19. 18 plus 1 is equal to 19. 19 equals 19, so we know our two values, negative 2 and 10, are correct. All right, now we are going to solve for pi. So the first thing we're going to ask is pi on the left? It is not, so we're going to do symmetrical. Pi r squared h is equal to v, symmetrical. Is the pi alone? It's not, so we have to see that it's multiplying by r squared. So we're going to divide by r squared and divide by r squared. Pi h is equal to v divided by r squared. Now we need to look at the h. The h is also multiplying by pi. So we're going to divide by h, and in this case we're going to divide by h. And because we have a fraction being divided, we're going to flip the second and multiply. So v over r squared times 1 over h. Pi is equal to v divided by r squared h. All right? We have a restaurant that sold 350 less hot dogs than hamburgers. So the first thing that we're going to do is draw our line, because this is this is where we have to stop when we're trying to determine our variables. So we have the less than, which means hamburgers is going to be x. 350 less is subtraction. So we have our hamburgers as x, and our hot dogs are going to have to use the x and the 350 and the subtraction. So we're going to have x minus 350. Now we go back and we see all together they sold 700 hot dogs and hamburgers. So that means our hot dogs and our hamburgers, so our hot dogs, x minus 350, and our hamburgers, x, they are going to equal 700. So we need to use all of those pieces to come up with our equation. So our equation is going to be X, hamburgers, plus hot dogs. And remember, hot dogs is a binomial, so it needs to be inside of parentheses, is going to equal 700. Now we're going to go ahead and solve. We're going to have 2x minus 350 is equal to 700. 0 pair out. Of course, it's keep, change, change. 0 pair out the 350. So we're going to have 2x is equal to 1,050 divide by 2, divide by 2, x is going to equal 525. So now we know that we have hamburgers equals x, so that equals 525 hamburgers. Now we need to find our hot dogs. So we actually don't have to rewrite this because we labeled it down there. We can go ahead and just solve for hot dogs. So our hot dogs is x minus 350. So we're going to have 525 minus 350 is going to be 175. So that's going to be hot dogs. You can also write it on the front. So now we're going to check. X plus. So hamburgers plus hot dogs is equal to 700. So this is going to be 525 plus 525 minus 350. So 525 plus 175, and that's going to equal 700. So we know that the restaurant sold 525 hamburgers and they sold 175 hot dogs. And now you've reviewed for your test.